Okay, here we see the part is nearing the completion of the printing, and right now to the far left we can see the difference between the infill, the 40% infill, which is the support material, compared to the steps on the right, which have the finished surface, the finished 3 solid layers. Each layer having 100% fill density. And this part has about 3 or 4 minutes left to finish printing it. And then we're going to want to let this cool down completely. Let the bed cool down, and then let the part cool down at least 15 minutes. If I pick this up right when it's done printing, the lower levels and the mid levels are completely cured, but this top level could easily deform just like a marshmallow if I apply any pressure to it. So we'll cut this out and then come back to inspect the finished piece, and then we will take into some considerations for redesign, test out the piece, etc. Okay, so the piece has finished printing. It's cooled down sufficiently, good 15 minutes. It's cool to the touch, and for the most part we just lift it right off. So the only thing pretty much holding that down was maybe a little bit of friction, but mostly just gravity. So you can see it at any point, if that extruder head had nicked into previously printed material, it could have easily knocked this piece, right? But that didn't happen. So overall, this is a nice print. There was one corner right here that started coming off the bed, but it didn't end up being a problem. And so we're ready to test the product, right? It's a guitar pick holder, and the guitar picks go in, but as I do this, I notice they're not really going in like I had planned. They seem to be, the walls across seem to be too narrow. And so my original design, I remember, was to have the distance from here, the inside wall thickness here to here, to be 1 inch. So if we have our caliper here, we judge the inside wall. You can read that. It's only 0.86 inches. It's probably supposed to be 0.875. Can't get doing this left-handed here. Let's see here. Let me get an exact. So there's a design flaw. That should be 1 inch. That's what I had hoped to design into it. So here we have probably one of the greatest uses for this 3D printer. This is a flawed piece, and it cost me about 75 cents in material. This is 75 cents worth of material right here. And the mistake that I made, had I shipped this off out of house, could have cost me $1,000. But realistically, there's plenty of places I could have probably got this built for $100 or less, right? $100 or less. So what we'll do now is we'll switch over to the computer screen and verify our error. Okay, here we are looking at our SketchUp model, and when the measure tool shows us 7/8. But as we know, all of the guitar picks that I have are 1 inch wide, and I wanted this to be about 1 1/8 wide, not 7/8. So what we'll do here is just extend all of these walls out 1/8 on each side. So I can easily just select and then snap to the point. You can rotate and do the same thing. Okay. Export that file, and then we'll see how quickly we can duplicate the process. Okay, and then we can see the changes. See how quick that is just to make a simple change, right? Delete the original. Reslice. Check our printer. Clean our print bed if we need to. And then print again. And I'll be right back with the newly printed, corrected version of the model for another 75 cents. Okay, here we have the finished piece. Okay, and here's the original piece. You can see the changes there in the width of the recess. So let's take a measurement here. It's about 1.13, so 1.175 would have been the exact 1 1/8. So I don't know, I had to close it a little bit to bring it out, but. And then the test here. So we have the guitar picks. So So there we go. Need a pick. Grab one out. So maybe even somewhere in between these two would be ideal. Alright, there you go. That completes our simple, very basic beginner level designing a model, exporting it, formatting the file, loading it into Repetier, working with the slicer settings, slicing, and printing, and then redesigning and reprinting. So thank you very much for following through. I think this is the 5th video. It's a 5-part series, 3D printing basics for beginners. Thank you, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.